Good morning. You're watching Much Ado About Something today, and I'm Donna. It's December 3rd, and we're out in the front garden. It's a beautiful day. It's probably 67 degrees here. I thought it would be an excellent time to jump out here while it's dry and warm and harvest some seeds. We're in the city, so you're going to hear city noises. And I've got a little helper today. David's with me, and David will be 3 this month, so he may chime in and talk with us today. But today, I've got to get out here and clean up this dried mess I've got out here, and so I have to harvest these seeds today while it's dry and warm, and before I cut all this stuff down to the ground, so that I'll have them for the spring to give to friends and to keep. My supplies for that are simple. I've got paper bags that I've saved, and I've labeled them with the plant that I'm going to harvest and the year that I harvest them. I like to use the paper bags because they're breathable. If you put seeds in plastic, if they're not dried out real good, you may go to get them the next year and they'll have some mold or mildew on them. So I like to harvest in paper bags that I've saved throughout the year. And then I just have a simple little pair of scissors so that I can cut some of the heads off of the coneflowers and the zinnias, the orange zinnias that I wanted to save this year. Well, as you can see, everything's pretty well dried up. And of course, that's not a very desirable look for a neighborhood garden. But if you don't let your seeds dry, if you don't let your plants mature after they flower and dry, then you won't have seeds for next year. So today, we're just going to harvest some of these seeds in our paper bags. And then I'll be out here cutting everything down to the ground. This purple coneflower, not only is it beautiful, beautiful addition to the garden, it's also an herb with immune support properties to it. So of course I love to harvest the leaves, sometimes the roots. But today I'm going to harvest these seed heads. And use them for starting my seeds for in the spring. Echinacea is purple coneflower is a biennial. So if I save these seeds and I plant them in the spring, I'll get a pretty green plant, but I'll have to wait till the next year for them to bloom. So this it requires a lot of thought when you put it into your garden. And time. So once you've invested in 2 years of growing a plant, you want to take care of it. So if any seeds I get, I go ahead and harvest those. And if I find any little plants that came up around this plant, I'll transfer those further into the garden so that I'll have plenty of echinacea. I just snip off these heads. I go ahead and harvest the whole plant and worry about cleaning it up later. Now the seeds to the echinacea, they're really small. The birds love them. Trying to get you some off here. It's kind of a prickly plant. These are not quite as dry as some. I'm glad I'm putting them in a paper bag. That's the petals you see right here. And these the seeds are the black little spikes you see in here. So that's what we're collecting today from the purple coneflower. There's also some hummingbird vine or cypress vine growing up right up along with this purple coneflower. It grew right up it this year. And you can see when we rake across these little pods, the black seeds that are coming off of this hummingbird vine. Now there's a little bit of chaff in there. I'll worry about that when I separate the seeds to give them for gifts. But we'll go ahead and collect those while we're over here. From the ones that are dry. Now when I finished collecting these seeds today from these plants, I'm going to cut them all down to the ground. So the next time you see this garden, when I do maybe a winter video, you probably won't recognize the space. And of course in the gardening plans, like this cypress vine that has the beautiful red flower on it, it's an annual, but it self-seeds itself. It's pretty prolific and it's vigorous growth. I had it growing up this flower pole this year, and it really overtook it and was a little bit too much for that. So I think I'm going to support that better and put that in a different location. And because it self-seeds itself, there'll be plenty of volunteers that'll be trying to come up in this garden in the spring. So I'll have to be vigilant to get out here and pull the ones that I don't want to grow up and transfer the ones that I do want to grow. One of the neat things about a cypress vine, besides the beautiful green fern-like foliage and the red flowers, is that you can put a string at the base of the ground and plant the flower, the vine, and it'll grow up that string to whatever support you have it tied to above it. So that's an interesting way to grow that, and so I think I'll concentrate better on showcasing that hummingbird vine more than I did this year. But it takes a little bit of planning to get ready for all of this. Now's the time to do that, to collect your seeds and get ready for spring and start planning of what you want to do next year. Well, I thank you for joining me in my garden on this beautiful day. And I hope it encouraged you to get out in your garden and save what seeds you can before they're cut back. And I hope you have a good day. Like always, until next time.